Hey, what is up there, guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of The Evolve. How you guys doing on today? You know what? I'm doing all right. Man, I don't know about y'all, but I just love, you gotta love that. You gotta love that guitar. But anyway, let's get right into it. Today, what we are doing, we're talking about a few things on today. Well, basically, Royce's interview, he sat down on an interview with the NME, one of the reporters there, and he had quite a bit to say. He had a lot to say, people. But there are two main things that two main questions that the interviewer had asked Royce that I wanted to share with you all on today, because I found it interesting, because we all know the whole dialogue that Lord Jamar, he had started long ago for going on about 8 to 10 years. That was weird. Okay. Don't know why. Where was I? Going on about 8. I better cut that out. But anyway, going on about 8 to 10 years now, the dialogue of being the guests, and white people are guests, women are guests, homosexuals are guests. I think he said something like that. Well, he said that there can't be gay people in hip hop, and well, he had a lot to say. He is the keeper of the goats, so to speak. But anyway, getting back to the guest dialogue, and recently on a Crooked interview, Eminem had stated, absolutely, I am a guest inside of hip hop. I never said that I wasn't. And ever since then, we haven't heard much from Lord Jamar. Or many say Lord Jafar, or some say Lord Nobar, or some just say the dishwasher, or a few just call him the weakest link. No, but I'm not here to joke about that or even talk about him. I'm actually here because with that whole guest situation, Royce in that interview, he shed a little bit more light on Eminem's thoughts on what he was thinking and how he actually feel. Because in the Crooked interview, he stated that he's absolutely a guest, didn't really elaborate on it much and how he felt as far as what Lord Jamar was saying in the past, all those past years, because Lord Jamar had stated, why did it take him so long to address it? Why didn't he say nothing back then? And that's what Royce talked about in this interview. But before I go on to why Eminem didn't talk about it back then, there was something else that the interviewer had asked Royce. Royce has this big goat ring. Maybe I'll put the picture up. He has this big goat ring, and as if to say that, hey, I am the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Mike Tyson and Daddy Kane and Rakim and a few others had mentioned that Eminem was, but Royce, he wears this ring. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm actually glad that the interviewer had asked Royce about this ring, this goat ring that he wears, because it's hard not to look at it, and it's definitely one of those that you want everyone to see and take note of. So the interviewer did ask him, he said, hey, we see you rocking that goat ring. Are you trying to say that you're the greatest of all time? And this is actually what Royce said. Royce's response was, if you just want to talk about pure skill, yeah, I feel like I'm in the conversation. I feel like you have rappers, you have MCs, and then you have practitioners, masters. I feel like I'm a practitioner. I don't just rap, I figure out new things to do that I don't see nobody else doing. And you know what? I guess in that sense, and how Royce had put that, because he is he's very tedious when it comes to his bars and what he wants to do with a line and with a song. He takes a lot of pride in each song and each verse, far as its creativity and trying to be genuine and unique and doing things that others haven't done, rather it's through verse or through video. So yeah, I understand why he feels that he is in that conversation with goats in that line of hip hop. So y'all remember in that Crooked interview where Eminem, he also stated that sometimes he gets anxiety because when he's on a song with Crooked and some of those, because they are just so good, and I guess kind of don't want to be out rap. He knows that he has to really step up his game. Y'all remember, when M had stated that. Well, the interviewer did ask Crooked how he felt about Eminem putting him on such a high pedestal about that. Actually, to read his question to Crooked, to Royce, the 5'9", this is what he said. In the same interview, Eminem said whenever he gets on a record with you or Crook, he gets anxiety because you're such a elite MC. And that's what he had asked him. And this was Royce's response. Well, Royce just said, "That's what he said?" And then the interviewer said, "Yeah, that's what he said." And then Royce, he quickly just kind of shot it all down, and he stayed humble, and basically he kind of made a transition, and this was his political response. Nah, I think it just means I dress better than him. Good job. But then it comes to the meat of this whole video that I want to bring to you all today. And that is Royce's response to the interviewer mentioning that, hey, in that Crooked interview, Eminem did admit that he was a guest. And, Lord Jamar had been saying that he was a guest. So, what do you think about that? And this is what he said. Royce starts off by saying, you know what? At the very beginning, when Lord Jamar first started talking about it, that's one of the first things Marshall said to me. I hope black people know that I know I'm a fucking guest in the house of hip hop. He was talking like that way back then. So the first point that Royce to make it known, the first thing that he revealed is that, hey, when Lord Jamar started that 8 years ago, he started that dialogue with Vlad and just in his head and never addressed it directly. Even way back then, one of the first things when Eminem heard him say that way back then, the first thing he said to me is, yeah, I'm a guest. I hope black people know that I know that I'm a guest. But so that's just one thing, but let's go on. Royce goes on and he said, so the fact that Lord Jamar has taken it and flipped it into make it seem like Marshall was disagreeing with him, it ain't right. And that is something that Lord Jamar has done, because once he started that dialogue, he kept running with it on Vlad and on interviews. Eminem's a guest. Eminem's a guest, and he think he runs hip hop, and he think he's the king in his stands. But at no point but that was a conversation that he had with Vlad, never with Eminem, and never even brought forth to the table direct comments from Eminem. There's never been a time that Eminem had stated otherwise. I mean, like I said, it was a conversation between him and his own brain. But Royce moves on. That's not what Eminem has a problem with. See, he doesn't have a problem with you saying he's a guest. He has a problem with you grouping him with the other mother that come into the culture and walk all over it and dip out. I mean, you ain't talking about that just rhymes words. Let's get that right. He has mastered this. So Royce explained it well, like I've said in many videos. You know, it's never been about him being a guest. It is about you looping him in with the other culture vultures. You looping him in with people that are actually inside of the house of hip hop, and then just to steal, just to be a thief, just to get views, just to get money, and they really don't care. They care more about, you know, their personal trophies instead of building this thing up. And Royce is like, you know, we've been here, we have respected the culture, and we have helped build this thing up. So try to degrade and demoralize and discontinue the effect and the impact and the hard work, and try to disappreciate. There's a better word, but that's where I'm going. To try to show a lack of appreciation for all the work that he's put in. I mean, if you put in tons and tons of time into something, and then for someone to say, yeah, you're just like the rest, or feel no appreciation, you're gonna feel a certain way. And that's what Royce was trying to get to. Anyway there, guys, I do thank you all for watching. I do want to know, this is a serious question, I do want to know, because we all have our own reasons for our likes and our dislikes, and how we operate mentally, and how we have people that we mess with and we don't. I want to know, because Royce today, he revealed just why Eminem was, or felt a certain way on Lord Jamar's comments. But I want to know, why is it that you feel the way that you feel about Lord Jamar? Is it because of the guest thing? Is it because you feel that he may be racist? Is it because of just the mentality? I'd like to know in the comments if you want to share. Alright, but other than that, at the end of the day, I do say KIP. Keep it positive, because none of this really do matter. It's just entertainment, and it's fun, and it doesn't matter. Honestly, the only people that really matter in your life are the ones that need you in their life when you have nothing left to give except yourself. I will see you all in the very next video. Thanks for watching.